On the same table was the most lovely golden cage I ever beheld, and it entered the boy's head that it would be 1,000 pities not to put the precious bird into it. The common cage was so unfit for her. Maybe he thought of the money it was worth. Anyhow, he made the exchange, and he had soon good reason to be sorry for it. The instant the shoulder of the bird's wing touched the golden wires, he let such a squawk out of him as was enough to break all the panes of glass in the windows, and at the same minute the 3 men, and the half dozen, and the dozen, and the score men, woke up and clattered their swords and spears, and surrounded the poor boy, and jibed, and cursed, and swore at home, till he didn't know whether it's his foot or head he was standing on. They called the king, and told him what happened, and he put on a very grim face. "It's on a gibbet you ought to be this moment," says he, "but I'll give you a chance of your life, and of the golden bird, too. I lay you under prohibitions, and restrictions, and death, and destruction, to go and bring me the King of Morocco's bay filly that outruns the wind, and leaps over the walls of Castle Bonds. When you fetch her into the bond of this palace, you must get the golden bird, and liberty to go where you please." I'd passed the boy, very downhearted, but as he went along, who should come out of a break but the fox again. "Ah, my friend," says he, "I was right when I suspected you hadn't a head on you, but I won't rub your hair again the grain. Get on my tail again, and when we come to the King of Morocco's palace, we'll see what we can do." So away they went like thought. The wind that was before them they would overtake, the wind that was behind them would not overtake them. Well, the nightfall came on them in a wood near the palace, and says the fox, "I'll go and make things easy for you at the stables, and when you're leading out the filly, don't let her touch the door, nor doorposts, nor anything but the ground, and that with her hoofs, and if you haven't a head on you once you are in the stable, you'll be worse off than before." So the boy delayed for a quarter of an hour, and then he went into the big barn of the palace. There were 2 rows of armed men reaching from the gate to the stable, and every man was in the depth of deep sleep, and through them went the boy till he got into the stable. There was a filly, as handsome a beast as ever stretched leg, and there was one stable boy with a currycomb in his hand, and another with a bridle, and another with a sieve of oats, and another with an armful of hay, and all as if they were cut out of stone. The filly was the only live thing in the place except himself. She had a common wooden leather saddle on her back, but a golden saddle with the nicest work on it was hung from the post, and he thought it the greatest pity not to put it in place of the other. Well, I believe there was some pitchrogs over it for a saddle. Anyhow, he took off the other, and put the gold one in its place. Out came a squeal from the filly's throat when she felt the strange article, that might be heard from Toombrick to Bunkledy, and all as ready were the armed men and the stable boys to run and surround the O'Madden of a boy, and the King of Morocco was soon there along with the rest, with a face on him as black as the sole of your foot. After he stood enjoying the abuse the poor boy got from everybody for some time, he says to him, "You deserve high hanging for your impudence, but I'll give you a chance for your life and the filly, too. I lay on you all sorts of prohibitions, and restrictions, and death, and destruction to go bring me Princess Goldenlocks, the King of Greek's daughter. When you deliver her into my hand, you may have the daughter of the wind, and welcome. Come in and take your supper and your rest, and be off at the flight of night." The poor boy was down in the mouth, you may suppose, as he was walking away next morning, and very much ashamed when the fox looked up in his face after coming out of the wood.